everybody. Hi, everyone. Whew. It's weird. Facebook just started doing a new thing, and the preview is so much different than the actual live video. I'm like so much closer than I was before. Alright, guys. I'm just setting up Instagram here. Excited to be here. Hi, thanks for being here. Okay, let me just set this up. So happy to be back, you guys. Hey. Alright. Pin this. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Here we go. Oh my gosh, you guys. It feels so freaking good to be back here live with you doing a psychic and energy Q&A. I've been doing these every single month almost for the last year and a half, and having to leave for November and December because of COVID honestly kind of killed me. There were so many days where I was laying in bed and you guys were sending me these awesome questions, and I was just like, I want to get on and answer these, but my body's too tired. So thank you so much for your grace, and for your understanding, and for showing back up with me today. I'm so glad that, y'all are still here. Hey, Carolyn, thanks for being here. Since I'm doing a Q&A this time around, I'm not going to accept your request to be in my video, but if you want to do a live with me at some other point in time, definitely shoot me a DM and we can get that organized. Alright, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Leah Gerson. I am the owner-operator here at Doorway to Self LLC, where I combine counseling techniques with psychic tools to help you understand your mental health, the mental health of society, and just kind of your overall self in general. I'm a limited license practicing counselor. This is a new thing since the last time I was on here doing a psychic Q&A, and I just want to take a moment briefly to thank all of you so much for your support and your encouragement through my entire education process. Those of you who have been with me through the whole journey, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I could finally offer just be here in this capacity with you, with these coveted letters after my name. So here we are, because society values that stuff. Now I'm gonna keep my glasses on for this one. All right, so let's see. So the way that this works, if you've never been here before, this is not a gallery reading, meaning that I'm not here to answer your personal psychic questions. However, I am here to answer any and all questions that you have about the psychic world in general. How does it work? So that includes anything about psychic abilities, astrology, numerology, the list goes on, literally anything, energy clearing, ethics, yada yada yada. And yeah, so you can pop your comments in the box if you're on Instagram or Facebook. If you see me looking back and forth between the two, that's why. My glasses broke, so you're gonna see me pushing them up, and you're gonna see me wearing new ones the next time I come on. So that's what's up. Also, yeah, all right, so cool. And then I do answer questions anonymously as well. The window for that has closed, but if you want to send a question anonymously for next time to be answered, you're more than welcome to do that to doorwaytoself@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram, PM me on Facebook. On Facebook, you can find me at Doorway to Self. Instagram, you can find me at Doorway to Self, at the Doorway to Self podcast. If you haven't tuned into that, you can do it through multiple platforms, and at rachel.leah.gerson. So, okay, I think I've hit the run of the gamut at this point. And I'm going to go ahead and start answering questions. So anytime that you have a question, you can just pop it into the comment box, and I'll start answering the anonymous questions that came in beforehand as well. And of course, these are also going to include questions that were asked in November and December, as well as this month too. So we've got a big set list today, so to speak. Jesse says, I'm so happy you're feeling better. Thank you. Me as well. Just really, really grateful to be here. Okay. So let's go ahead and start. All right. So the first question I got in anonymously was, have you ever had to block people on social media? This person reached out to me yesterday and I instantly had negative vibes from them. I had to take time to remove energy hooks today and raise my frequency. I'm feeling like I need to block this individual. Any advice? Yes, absolutely. So firstly, if you feel, well, okay, look, you know you know you best, okay? If you got that deep feeling immediately of, I need to block this person, listen to that. Listen to that instinct. If you got immediate negative energy, if you felt unsafe, absolutely listen to that. There's nothing wrong with blocking somebody who you feel is harmful to you. So, yeah, that's my short and very simple answer to that. But as far as the other stuff goes, needing to remove hooks and stuff like that, I think this goes to speak to the importance of just really keeping yourself in check when you're interacting with social media, as so many of us are at this point in time, especially through COVID, especially through, this is a lot of the way that we're able to interact with other people at this point. So just, yeah, keep in mind really good energy hygiene. I do have a podcast episode on this that you guys can check out. I think it's called The Energy of Social Media. And then I also have an episode called Energy Hooks and Cords. And those would be two really, really good episodes to listen to educate yourself on how to interact with social media in a healthy way. And then if you do wind up walking away with any kind of nasty, gnarly energy from anybody you've been interacting with or certain pages or whatever, you can definitely use that hooks and cords episode as well to help you out. Okay, let's see. Why? Sorry, guys. Something's going wrong with the comments here, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting all of them in. Keziah says hello from South Africa. Thank you so much for being here. That's incredible. Wow, how cool. Yeah, if you guys want to drop in where you're from too, I'm always curious to know that also. So thank you for being here. Very cool. All right, I'm seeing the first question coming in live. So Kathleen says, when in the presence of a metaphysical practitioner, I can envision or sense the metaphysical world much more intensely than I would without being in the presence of the practitioner. Why is this the case? Once someone tried to explain it to me and I totally did not get it. Wow, that's a really cool question, Kathleen. Thank you so much for asking that. And I feel somebody on the other side right now being on the other side of the screen saying, what is metaphysics? I don't know. So I'm just going to take a brief moment to explain that. Metaphysics, literally, if you break the word down, it means beyond physics. Meta means beyond, physics is the physical, right? So we're talking about anything beyond the physical world. We're talking about anything, that can't be seen, touched, felt, heard, smelled, tasted, etc. in the physical world. It's anything beyond that. So that's what Kathleen is speaking to, is practitioners who work with anything beyond the physical. I'm a metaphysical practitioner, so that gives you guys some context for those of you who are tuning in right now. All right, so yeah, this makes a ton of sense, and I'm going to be vulnerable and say that I definitely used to feel this way as well, until I deeply connected to myself, and really did the work to come home to my own energy and my own essence, and really honed in on my personal psychic abilities, started meditating on a very regular basis that wasn't for escapism. And I feel like that's a really important thing to kind of highlight, is a lot of people will meditate to escape. That was definitely the track I was on. So as soon as I started meditating more for tuning in and for grounding and for being in the now and being in the present, really kind of more mindful stuff, that's when I started feeling that metaphysical presence being larger and greater, and more profound, and to the same level as being in the presence of other practitioners. What I will say, Kathleen, is firstly, that took me years to get to that place, years and years and years. And I am going to be straight up honest with you and let you know that until probably the last like year and a half or so, I wasn't experiencing that. So this is honestly pretty recent for me, personally. So it took me a really long time to get to this place, and if you're not there yet, that's okay, and that goes for anybody, not just Kathleen. That goes for anybody. So yeah. Also, we are trained as practitioners to bring the space with us, right? And I shouldn't speak for all metaphysical practitioners, but any ethical and practical and good practitioner has been trained to hold the space for the other person and really allow the other person that they're holding the space for, really allowing their own energy to come forward and really come flowing out and be seen and be felt, and really this vast container for them to really just expand and be themselves. And so, Kathleen, what you're probably feeling is a lot of this energy of, you are being asked to expand in this space. And so you're really, really experiencing yourself and your energy and the depth that it can go to. Of course, doing that outside of a container at first can be a little bit daunting or scary, and something that without guidance we may not know how to do on our own right away. And that's where the importance of working with a guidance team or with a single practitioner or whatever it is comes in. So Kathleen, definitely keep doing that work with other practitioners, and know that this is the mechanics. These are the mechanics that are going on in the background. Basically what you are experiencing in the presence of that practitioner is them helping you to draw your energy out so that you can experience it. And if anybody is needing help in that department, I am taking on new clients at this point. So please feel free, doorwaytoself.com/services, and you can book a session with me. So I am available for that if you're interested. Thank you so much. Great question, Kathleen. Okay, lots of questions coming in this time. My goodness. All right. Okay. So I'm seeing something from somebody offering a reading to somebody else in this group. I really appreciate that you're offering that. I'm not getting a great feeling from this. It feels kind of like hooky and courty. So, unless you are an ethical practitioner, I really want to encourage you to maybe check yourself before continuing to comment here. All right, let's see. Brittany. Hey, Brittany, thanks for being here. I don't think I've seen you here before, so this is exciting. I get very detailed precognition, not in dreams, while awake. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. And mostly are really bad events. Why is this happening to me? Okay, so not so cool. Hold on a sec. Okay, so the reason I said that's cool to begin with is I really like that you have fleshed out that it is precognition. For those of you who don't know, precognition is when you are receiving psychic information about things before they happen. And I love that you're able to know that that's happening in your waking life and not in your dreaming life. So those are important signifiers. Very cool that you've done the work on yourself to know that. It's important to see this as not necessarily why is this happening to me, but more so why am I experiencing this? Why is Source, Universe, God, Goddess, Sophia, whatever you want to call it, why is the greater collective energy wanting me to experience this right now? Why am I the person who's needing to get this knowledge and carry it out into the collective? So that's Yeah, that's really what it's about, is just kind of flipping this lens. And I'm curious to see how that works for you, Brittany. I know that that's a very simple answer that I'm giving you, but oftentimes in the psychic world, the simple answers are the ones that are going to be the most powerful for us. So I want to encourage you to just flip the script on that, flip that lens, and take a moment to ask, why am I receiving this? Why am I the person who is receiving this? What can I do with this information? How is this information supposed to help me or other people or whatever? And if you don't want to receive it anymore, just ask. It might take a while sometimes, because time and space is a human made up thing. Sometimes the universe will take a moment to respond to you, and you might get hit hard with precognition after precognition, and then all of a sudden it'll just stop one day. But if you seriously, seriously don't want it anymore, and you set a very strict boundary around that, they'll stop. Okay. Oh my gosh. So many questions this time, you guys. Okay. So Kirsty, I'm seeing you. I'm bookmarking you as the next question I want to answer, but I definitely want to make sure to give space for these anonymous questions that came in as well, because I did promise them that I was going to answer them this time around. So I'm going to do that. Okay, let's see. All right. The next question that came in, I've recently started having a spiritual awakening. I got hit with many visions and voices all at once for meditation. But I noticed once I was in a calm state, I can feel energy around me, even feel myself in their bodies, looking at things from their perspective at first. I'll get the chills and I'll taste what they're around or smoking or eating, or even if they brush their teeth. I'm very curious as to how I can control this more, because it comes and goes. Thank you so much. So this is a really multifaceted question. So I'm going to break this down first, because there's some really key psychic education in here. I love this question. Okay, so we're going to break this down. Recently started having a spiritual awakening. Awesome. Congratulations. So many people woke up in 2020. It's a little overwhelming. It's freaking great. New Earth, here we come. Bingo. Okay. I got hit with many visions. That's clairvoyance, psychic sight. And voices, clairaudience, psychic hearing. All at once from meditation. Makes sense you were getting that from meditation. You're dropping into that astral space. But I noticed once I was in a calm state, I can feel energy around me, even feel myself in other people's bodies, looking at things from their perspective at first. So this is huge. What you are doing, my dear, is you are actually astrally traveling and landing in other people's bodies. This is like a whole other level of empath. Because it sounds like, from the way that you're posing this, it sounds like what you are doing is something that's kind of out of your control, that you're just dropping into these people's bodies without any intention of doing so. So I don't really believe that consent plays a part here. If you were kind of trying to intentionally drop into people's bodies, I would be like, oh my gosh, that's so unethical. You have to ask for consent before you do this. But because it sounds like this is something that's happening completely out of your control, it's just kind of like happening. I don't really feel like consent really has a place to play in it. What does have a place to play is your own boundaries. So you can absolutely 100% set boundaries around yourself and with your guides or universe or whatever you believe in, with yourself, to say, I don't want this anymore. Please keep me in my own body. Something like that. And if you set that boundary and you're really true about it, and this is the key, because if there's any part of you that doesn't want that boundary to be there, it will not hold. But if you are actually serious about setting that boundary, it will stick. Let's see. So yeah, looking at things from their perspective, there's again that clairvoyance. It sounds like that happens to you first, that clairvoyance. Then you get the chills. That sounds like some clairsentience, feeling of the energies between you and somebody else. You'll taste where they're around or smoking or eating if they brush their teeth. You've got some clairgustance, some psychic taste. I think it's really important. I'm breaking all of this down for you because it's important to understand what the psychic experiences are that we're having. When we break it down and we can really decipher, oh, okay, I'm experiencing clairvoyance, and then my clairvoyance brings on my clairaudience, right? So I see things first before I hear them. Okay, so this is how I operate. When we can really break down, oh, this is how I operate, then we can know how we're interacting with the energy and how the energy is interacting with us, and therefore be able to set better boundaries around it, clear ourselves better, have better psychic health and psychic hygiene in general. The list goes on. Again, I am taking on clients at this point. I do psychic diagnostics, which is basically what I just did here, breaking down what psychic abilities you're experiencing at this point. Yeah, so feel free to book a session with me one-on-one if you want to learn more about how you operate and kind of how to control that, so to speak. Yeah, cool. That was a great question. All right. So now I'm going to flip back to Kirsty here. Let me take a drink. All right. My friend was in a ventilator and came off it this week. I'm sorry to hear that happened to your friend, and I'm so happy that they are doing well enough to be off the ventilator. That's great news. Going home today, but can now see things around people. He confided in me that looks like sparkles in quotes, near-death experience, and says feels like a different person. Any thoughts on him having developed a gift while in medical induced coma? 100%. This is something, oh yeah, people on Instagram are giving lots of hearts to this one, Kirsty. This is something that I think is happening more and more frequently with the severity of COVID cases that have been spiking and more people having near-death experiences. I'm going to say something very controversial here, and it's something that I've said before when sharing my personal experience about having COVID, but I deeply believe that COVID is here helping us to upgrade. And I know that sounds really opposite to a lot of people because they're like, oh, it's this horrible thing that's killing a lot of people. And like, and it is like, it's horrible that we're losing so many people, and having to suffer such grief and such loss in our society. That said, it is also waking people up on so many levels, and these near-death experiences that are then triggering people's awakenings, or awakening of psychic abilities specifically, and or both. That's a huge side effect of this. And I'm also going to go out on a limb and say this because I feel like it's something that offers hope to people, and it's something that I've never said live, even though I've been sharing it in session after session with people. We also have to think right now about all of this death and loss that's happening. If you believe in reincarnation, which, I mean, energy cannot neither be created nor destroyed, it can only be transmuted or transformed, right? So if we're thinking about all of these people who are dying right now, all of these souls that are passing on, that are leaving, they're going to have to come back and take form in some way, shape, or form again. And perhaps that means in another human body. And guess what? All these people in quarantine with their partners getting pregnant, there's no coincidence there. There has to be some sort of shift that's going on. Everybody's talking about new earth, the age of Aquarius, the dawn of Aquarius, coming into this new age. New souls are coming into this world that needed to leave here in the capacity that they were in before. COVID is a big clearing for us so that we can come into this new earth with these new souls in this new way. Great question, Kirsty. All right, I'm gonna hop over to Instagram here because I'm seeing some stuff coming in. I'm gonna answer one question from here, and then I'll hop back to the anonymous things that came in before. Lou Divine Life says, "New Earth, here we come." Yes, absolutely, 100% agree with you on the pandemic being the trigger of awakening process for this decade. Absolutely, 150%. Okay, cool. So those were not questions. That's great comments, though. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to Facebook here. And Kazaya says, my mother passed and her ashes are with me. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's so beautiful. And she and I didn't have a good relationship. Should I be weary of her ashes in my house? That's a really great question. So I want to offer the perspective that perhaps this is a moment for healing for you. Maybe this is a moment of reparation. A moment where you can really repair your dissonant energy with your mom. So the answer is yes and no. It depends on what you do with the energy of that, right? If you take the time to spend with her ashes and, thank them for all of the lessons that they've taught you, however hard, however difficult, even if there was trauma, right? And really use it as a moment for post-traumatic growth. And I don't mean to say that it was traumatic, because I don't know what your relationship was, but I consider the quote little things to be traumatic as well, and having a dissonant relationship with your mother it's a traumatic thing, and so being able to work with those ashes towards post-traumatic growth, and really healing that energy. I've heard some beautiful stories about people's parents passing or ancestors passing or guardians passing, and them being able to just come back into a better place of unity and healing with them after they've already passed over to the other side. So I hope that helps you, Kazaya. All right. I'm seeing again another thing about readings from other people. I just really don't like the feeling of this. That's not to say that I am the best reader in the world, but because I don't think that about myself, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask for this person to leave. I don't know how to get them to leave, like how to block them from leaving, but Harde Rogba, I don't know how you pronounce your name. I'm assuming that that's correct. I'm now seeing like 600 comments to message you for readings, so please stop doing that. I'm setting this boundary. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jessica reported. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Kirsty, oh my gosh, all y'all have my back. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate that. Brittany says, if I say or tell the person or people, I feel like they will think I'm crazy. Yeah. That's why I do what I do, my dear, because there's no reason for you to feel crazy. What you're experiencing is 100% normal. It is 100% human. This is why I do what I do. Psychic education is necessary because we all are freaking psychic, and we have to stop acting like we're not. So thank you so much for helping to break the stigma, and I want to encourage you to own that, Brittany. I really do, and find your tribe. I know it sounds cliche, but find your tribe of people who will be able to accept that and know that that's not crazy. And I do actually have a group that I run called the Door Openers. Right now it's only open to women and gender nonconforming or non-binary or trans people who identify with being a woman in some way, shape, or form. But if you would like to join, that is an open, the invitation is open to you for sure, and you can apply through my website, doorwaytoself.com/services, and you'll find it under the group offering section. Okay, cool. Awesome, Jessica. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and hop back to these, all right. Hop back to these anonymous questions that have come in. All right. I recently read your article, What is Clairescense? For those of you who don't know, clairescence is psychic smell. This is a really interesting question, you guys, so keep your ears peeled. The reason why I was looking the information up is because recently I began my awakening transformation and have been seeking a more spiritual life. Well, the last 2 nights I have woken up in the middle of the night to an incredibly overwhelming smell of the sweetest flowers. The funny thing is that I still can't smell because I've had COVID-19 and lost that sense. This is so interesting. Like, literally lighting up right now reading this. Again, for like the 6th time. But I was still smelling the sweet flowers. I woke up this morning and tested my sense of smell, but still can't smell anything. In parentheses, I'm adding in the physical world. I wasn't dreaming because when the smell woke me, I opened my eyes, sat up in bed, and was still able to smell this, being fully aware. This has already happened twice, 2 nights in a row. Do you have any idea what it could be? I know I have asked my guardian angel to help me awaken my spiritual gifts if it was possible. I don't know what this smell is, though. Such a freaking cool experience. So good. So good, you guys. Thank you to this anonymous person for asking that. 100% this is clairescence. If you are smelling something that cannot be physically traced somewhere else, it is clairescence. As this person referenced my article, if you guys are curious about any of the clairs, which are the psychic senses, or channeling or mediumship, I have articles about all of those things on my website, doorwaytoself.com/blog. You can find them all there. So yeah, definitely check that out if you have any questions about how that psychic smell might manifest in your life. Speaking to this person, the first question I want to ask you is why? Well, actually, no, the first thing I want to say is I feel like this is I didn't do this on purpose to order the question in this way. But I feel like it's cool that this came after Kirsty's question just now about the NDEs and people's psychic experiences, awakening and all of that kind of stuff, because it is just another parallel of that. I have heard so many stories about people getting COVID and losing their physical sense of smell or taste, and then developing their psychic smell or psychic sense of smell or psychic sense of taste. So it's pretty wild and amazing and awesome, and I feel like it's just another kind of punctuation on this idea of us moving more into the 5th dimensional reality, which is, a lot of people say away from the physical, but I argue it's more an integration of more energetic astral energies coming through the physical body. I believe it's an upgrade of our physical body into the energy world, not a complete leaving behind of the physical. So yeah, anyways, okay, so the first question I want to ask this person is, why do you need to know? And I feel like this is something that so many of you are going to need to hear right now. Why do you need to know? We always do this thing, or not always, but we have been taught societally to do this thing that when something comes in, we have to immediately know what it is. What is this? Why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, how many questions have I gotten on these Q&As of like, how can I learn who my spirit guide is? Why does it matter if they're there? If they're helping you, if they're protecting you, if they're guiding you, why does it matter who your spirit guide is? It doesn't. They're just there. You know their energy. You understand who they are. You understand why, when they are with you. It doesn't matter if you know what their name is or what they look like, right? And that'll come. That information will come if you need it. So that's the first thing I want to do is ask you why. Why do you need to know? I want to make sure I'm still live. Okay, something just like went weird on my Instagram. So that's that. Secondly, usually, and I'm not saying that this is your experience because there could be 100,000 different explanations for it. But usually when I see the theme of somebody waking up in the middle of the night and smelling either cigarettes or a sweeter floral fragrance. It's usually connected with somebody who has passed, who is visiting you. Again, not saying that that's what's going on for you. I just know that that tends to be a through line that I have seen with other people who have had the experience of waking up in the middle of the night and having clairescence and smelling either florals or cigarettes, or cigar. Cigar smoke is huge. So, yeah. I guess that's my answer for that. And then, of course, we can always dive deeper too if you want to kind of flesh it out more. We can work together one-on-one to figure that out. Also, all right, I'm gonna hop over to Instagram here for a minute. Let's see. Hey Tahila, thanks for being here. Lou Divine is Stacy. Awesome. Good to meet you, Stacy, and you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Tahila says my psychic taste is wild. Awesome. And Stacy says, so interesting and helpful to hear about the senses heightening and upgrading in experiences. It's like, it's a collective thing at this point, Stacy. Yeah, for sure. Teela says, my spirit guide is super hot. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay. And Stacy says, yes, why do I need to know? I'm asking myself often. Thank you for the further nudge. Yeah. Okay. Break here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Kathleen says, when expressing my love or my appreciation to elements of the spiritual world, and when pouring my full heart and intent into expressing that love, my heart area actually hurts. Is this my physical heart or my chakra? There are other times when my third eye area hurts. What is going on in these cases? Really great question, Kathleen, because I feel like that's actually part of the upgrade that's happening collectively right now. I feel like a lot of people are experiencing exactly what you are speaking to. So the answer is both and. So remember, and I know you typed this comment before I said this, but I just said that moving from the 3D into the 5D, so many people are associating this with kind of an upgrade of the body, an upgrade of the energy in terms of moving out of the body. And I see it very opposite of that. It's the recognition that the physical body is energy. Always has been. It's just that now we're becoming more conscious and cognizant of that. So that's basically what this is when you are feeling that aching heart or that aching third eye, it is a physical sensation, but you're physically feeling the energy of the emotion and the energy of the connection. And you're going to have to meditate with that. And really, I can't answer that for you, Kathleen. I cannot answer what does that mean when it hurts. I can tell you what it means for me when I experience that aching, that just deep aching in my heart. And it feels physical and it feels emotional and it feels energetic because it is all three. When I feel that, I know that it's just that it's such an overwhelming, astounding, gorgeous feeling of gratitude and love that it's like so big that it hurts. But in a good way. Kind of like after a good workout, right? And you're just like going hard. And like you lifted your weights and your arms are so sore and they ache and they're painful, but it's like a really good ache, good pain. It's that same idea for me of like I'm exercising my emotions and my energy so much that it's like a sore muscle kind of thing. So that's what it means for me. But it could be something completely different for you. So I suggest that you meditate on it and sit with it and really just see how that speaks to you specifically. And I hope that that helps. Hey Anna, thank you so much for being here and thank you for reporting that person. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing from Kirsty, heighten her psychic sense. Susan says it's almost like we have to justify it. I don't know what that was speaking to, but right. Now I'm getting. Thank you, Susan. Needing to know the answer. Yeah, needing to know the answer. Almost like we have to justify it. Yeah, absolutely. Because we've been taught that we cannot trust our spiritual instincts. We've been taught that we cannot just trust to receive something and let it go. I did a really great talk about exactly this subject. Had a great conversation with Gada Jane of Deepen the Mystery. And you can find that replay on IGTV, and I believe she'll be putting it up on her YouTube channel soon. But if you go to the at Deepen the Mystery page on Instagram, if you go to that account, go to her IGTV, you'll find the replay of our video. It's really solid. We have a really solid conversation about exactly that, Susan. So yeah, good comment. Kirsty says spirit often presents showing a bouquet of flowers for me visually. Oh, that's really cool. See, so this is really helpful, Kirsty, that you've been able to kind of dial it down and recognize that. So that's a really great example for this person who asked the question anonymously of kind of like what it could potentially represent. Great. Yeah, and Kathleen says I smelled lilacs twice shortly after my aunt passed away. Yes, exactly. Kirsty says I get an ache in my head, Kathleen, energy overload. Yeah, so that's a really great point, Kirsty. So again, thank you so much for being an example here. Yeah, so where for me it's kind of like working out, right? And it's the sore muscle, and this is why I said this is my experience. You have to figure out what it is for you, because for Kirsty, the ache in the head is an energy overload. And actually I didn't think about this, but in the past I have gotten like horrible migraines when I have too much energy that I'm interacting with. I don't get that anymore. I blame the fact that it was also an interaction with my hormonal birth control that I have since stopped, but regardless, yes, I also, and I'm not going to say this publicly because I have a feeling it's necessary for my own protection not to disclose where, but there is a specific point in my body where if it starts aching, I know that I need to do an energy release. I know that somebody's like trying to slam me with energy, and it's basically like my body's little red flag alert of like, you need to do an energy clearing right now, because, or you need to fill yourself up extra with your energy, same thing. So it could be that as well. Awesome, Kirsty. And it could be something completely different too. Kathleen says, thank you. I greatly appreciate your answers. And Kirsty, I appreciate your affirmation. Awesome. Loving this teamwork. I always love the teamwork that comes in on these, you guys. So great. Okay. All right. So I think that's it on the Facebook questions that have come in. I'm going to head back to the, and I don't see any on Instagram, I don't think. Cool. So cool to see all of you showing up today. So grateful for you. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. It looks like I have 2 anonymous questions left, which is probably exactly the amount of time that we have left. So it's perfect. The first question is, are you still doing your monthly energy articles? If not, would you recommend anyone to follow and support as well as your lovely self? The monthly breakdown helped so much, with a heart. So to this person and to all of you, I'm really sorry. I'm no longer doing those energy articles. It was taking me, it was taking me anywhere from 40 to 60 hours. And that's like a loose estimate. It probably honestly took me longer from beginning to end of like starting to research the energies, taking notes on it, writing out the full articles, editing the articles, uploading them to my website, creating the cover picture, tagging everything. Like literally took me ages and ages, and I loved it. I loved it. Which is why I was doing it, because it was literally a labor of love. And from there, it kind of turned into an obligation. And I didn't want to be putting an obligation out into the world. That would have been me setting a really horrible example for you guys to continue doing that. And so I gave it a couple of months where it felt like that, kind of thinking, oh, you know what, I'm really busy trying to move and trying to do this and trying to do that. And so maybe it's just my busyness. But when I got hit with COVID, and it was really like pulling teeth to try and write the December article, I was like, no, you know what, this is the universe telling me that this is a real thing, and I need to take a break from this and perhaps stop it altogether. So I want to say thank you so much to those of you who have given me readership for those articles every month. I know that they were really helpful for you. It was not an easy thing to make this decision. It's something that I was stewing on since August. So it's and it honestly breaks my heart a little bit every single time I get a message like this, because I've gotten a lot of them of like, where's your January article, or you know, whatever. And I tried to do my best putting out to my email list, and then putting out a post on Instagram, Facebook, and then putting out a blog article on it to really notify you guys and let you guys know that I was no longer going to be writing them. But yeah, I guess some people still slip through the cracks, so I felt the need to address it here again, especially since I got this message yesterday. So yeah, so substitutes are a great thing, and I want to give you resources, because that I'm all about education, and I'm all about helping to raise other people up. And part of the reason that I felt so solid in making this decision eventually is because I did know that I would be able to pass you off to other resources for this. So firstly, I am speaking about this stuff constantly, regularly. So if you follow me on social media at Doorway to Self on Instagram and on Facebook, I do, and specifically more so on Instagram than Facebook, I do put out regular lives that I just kind of like, when I feel like, ooh, the collective needs this message right now, I need to talk about the planetary shifts, I need to talk about the numerology this month, I need to, you know, whatever it is, that's coming through, I will get on live and just go and just flow with it. So there is an abundance of resource if you head to my IGTV page. That is a thing. I also want to highlight foreverconscious.com. Tanaz Chubb is incredible. She has been one of my biggest inspirations from the get-go. I use her page, or work with her page, for a lot of my references and resources, especially for the astrology. She does do monthly numerology articles as well, but they don't include the numerological portal days, which is where I'm going to say, if you're specifically looking for information on the numerological portal days, again, be sure to just check back on my Instagram page. And I also put out a complete calendar for the 2021 year of all of the important energetic dates, so you guys can have that. And it includes all of the numerological portal days that are regular every year, as well as specific to 2021, planetary retrogrades, asteroidal retrogrades, special solar days, the full new and quarter moons for every month, equinoxes, solstices, eclipses, supermoons. I mean, it has a ton. There's just an abundance of information in that calendar. So if you're somebody who, like, you want to look ahead, or you want to be able to have a reference to look back to, that calendar is up and available on my website for sale, doorwaytoself.com, and you just click on the little shop link on the homepage. There's like a thing that, you know, offerings, blog, whatever. You'll click on the shop one, it'll take you right there. So yes, that is available for purchase. I also mentioned foreverconscious.com. She puts out monthly articles. I've talked a lot about my friend Sam Lauer at Find Me in the Stars, at Find Me _ in the Stars, on Instagram. She also has a podcast that she puts out. It's just the Find Me in the Stars podcast. And she also puts out energy updates. She does them live energy updates on Instagram. So you can check that out. And she does 13 sign astrology as well. So that's and Mayan calendar stuff, which is totally like beyond me. So that's a really great resource too, to just kind of get a different lens. And gosh, what else? Another website that I used for, and still use for personal research to form the articles as well, cafeastrology.com. They also have full calendars and stuff that you can look at. It's just like a little bit more advanced. So if you're a little bit more of an advanced type of astrology learner, and again, that won't include the numerology or any of the significant energy days or anything like that. But yeah, that's also a really good resource too. And I'll kind of keep racking my brain to see if I can think of anybody else too. So yeah, end of an era, but necessary. And I've got so many other things going on in the background that I'm not ready to announce just yet, but just know that my time is definitely going elsewhere. So yeah. Stacy says honor yourself and don't apologize for that. Aw, thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that. Oh, and then she says, purchase your calendar. Very helpful. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much for purchasing that. And I'm glad that it's really helpful to you. Yeah, I'm not apologizing. I want to state this really clearly. I'm not apologizing for stopping. I'm not apologizing for honoring myself. I am apologizing for there now being a gap. So I know that that's uncomfortable, and I know the change is uncomfortable. And I'm also apologizing because there is still a part of me that really enjoyed doing that and feels like something is missing because of that. So there's also like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that that's missing. Cause I feel the gape in my heart as well. So I totally get that. So that's why I said I'm sorry. Aw, thank you. I don't know who you are, HLSD3. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, you're so enlightening. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. I'm so glad this is resonating. Okay, so last question here. I've been feeling really dizzy recently, but it doesn't feel like I'm sick. Could this have something to do with the planets? The answer is yes. The answer is 150,000% yes. And I put out a whole post on this yesterday because I've gotten this question at least 6 times since the beginning of the month, and I was finally like, okay, I need to put this out because it just keeps coming. So yes, we are at a point in time, as I said, where our physical body is starting to catch up to the energy world and vice versa. Or rather, we're just becoming conscious of the fact that our physical bodies are energy. And part of that upgrade is really tuning into the physical body and really tuning into how energy manifests in the physical body. And dizziness tends to be a huge factor in that. Getting the spins or standing still and having the entire room spin around you, even though you're standing still. Basically what's happening is your physical body is alerting you to a huge movement of energy that's going on. And whether that's, I was going to say whether that's within you or without you, but as within, so without, that's the law of energy. As within, so without, as without, so within. So, yeah, basically it's telling you there are huge freaking shifts happening, and you're feeling them, and congratulations. So, Yeah, that's what's up. This can also manifest as like if you're laying down or sitting down in a place that's a still place, like a couch or a bench or something, or a bed, whatever. Um, you're not moving. You're in a still place, but you feel like you're moving. Like maybe you feel like you're on a boat, or you feel like your whole body is shaking, even though it's still. You feel like you're moving in a car, something like that. That's also a huge symptom of this. Of course, please be safe and be careful. Make sure that it's not like an actual physical symptom of COVID. You want to keep the people around you safe, just being mindful of that, but also, this is what's going on. And there are several other physical ascension symptoms that can be added to that list as well. So be sure to check out that post. I posted it on Instagram and Facebook at Doorway to Self. So you can go ahead and check that post out if you want that whole list as well. Stacy says, sorry is one of the words I coach my clients to reduce and eliminate when an apology isn't warranted. I love that. I do the same thing, Stacy, because yeah, it is definitely overused. So, so I hear you, and I thank you for calling me out on that as well. Becky says, thank you for your guidance as always. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. Okie dokie. All right. Susan says, Rachel, it's so interesting to hear about your experiences with migraines and other aches and pains. I used to get a lot of migraines when I had to be out in the world more. I thought it was triggered by lighting, but maybe it's also an energetic thing. Food for thought. Absolutely. And also, this is really interesting. Lots of hearts on that for you, Susan, too, on Instagram. What's really interesting too is, again, it's a both and, right? So it's possible that you were getting those headaches triggered by being out in the world and by interacting with all of these other energies and etc. And it's also possible that looking at fluorescent lighting or whatever it was that was triggering it is the thing that was actually triggering it. So, maybe you were interacting with all these other energies, but it took just that physical overload of looking at that light for your body to not be able to handle the other things all of a sudden. So that's something to take into consideration as well. Aw, Christine Susan having a love fest. Aw, I love it. Kathleen says, don't laugh, but how do people make the hearts float up in the right side of the comments? Not laughing at all. That's a really great question. All you have to do is click the, when you go to click like, when you go to click like on Facebook, it gives you an option to click love. So you would just click love and it would make the hearts go up. Okay, and Susan says, thank you for the post, Rachel, too. LOL, working on the people around me to stop apologizing so much. So there you go, Stacy. You've got a fellow stop apologizer person on your side for sure. Oh, and Kirsty helped Kathleen as well. Thank you for that. Yeah, my body hates fluorescent lighting, LOL. Yeah, Susan, you're not alone in that. I can definitely tell you that. Tahila says, what's up, girl? Hey, Tahila. Stacy says, this was wonderful and much needed. Grateful for your light and sharing. Yay. Aw, thank you so much, Stacy. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Okay, so let's see. We've got a couple of minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off questions for now. But I do want to go ahead and let you guys know about a couple of things here. So, first things first. I shipped out the first batch of Unity Potion the other day. I haven't gotten around to sending you guys your confirmation orders yet because, like, all of a sudden everything came in, like, it was unreal. I was so pleased by the number of people who are really committing to being in union with themselves and bringing more unity to the collective and doing it in this way. And I'm feeling all of your hearts light up right now because so many of you who are watching this are people who are about to receive the bottle in the mail any day now. So I have them sitting behind me, as you may have noticed. Some of the bottles that have not yet been claimed. There are a few more than this. So don't worry. This is more just kind of, I've been trading them out every day so that they can continue to be energized on the altar space here. But this is what they look like. They're these beautiful little bottles. And yeah, I'm just, I've been taking mine almost every day now too, and I've already noticed results in just kind of my mood and my ability to feel compassion for others and myself, and like really having a bigger tolerance for everything that's going on societally right now, because there's a lot. So if you're needing more of that, and then also just like random people contacting me who are very clearly soul family, and just feeling super grateful for that. So yeah, all things that we're needing right now, I think. If you want a bottle, they are still available for purchase. And I taught a masterclass on Wednesday on the Witch's Tea Saginaw page. Some of you were there. It was on astral travel and embodiment. And you can find the replay on the Witch's Tea Saginaw page, and I believe I posted the replay to the Dory to Self page on Facebook as well. But for that class, I was called to create a discount code for the potions since they're no longer on pre-order, and that discount code is open until Wednesday. And before I tuned in today here, I was directed to also offer that same code to you. So if you want the Unity Potion for 25% off, you can do that by entering the code ASTRAL, ASTRAL, into the code line at checkout. So you can get the potion at dorytoself.com, click on the little tab in the top of the page that says shop. It'll bring you to that page. You can get the calendar of important events on that same page. So you'll see them right next to each other. The Unity Potion is there. You click on it, and then you enter Astral at checkout, and you will get 25% off. And anybody who buys a bottle from now through the end of January will be entered to win one of these 3 crystals that were used to make it as well. I'm trying not to drop them. So there are 2 celestites and a rose quartz. So there will be 3 lucky winners who will get that in addition to their 25% off as well. Plus y'all get cool stickers that come with it too. So really excited to continue to bring this medicine into the collective. The more people take it, the more into unity we will all become. So I'm just feeling really grateful to be able to put this out into the world. And that so many humans are committing to helping to usher the new earth in this way. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, let's see. Kirsty says, thank you, Rachel. Fun Saturday evening conversation. Looking forward to my Unity Potion. I know, I'm excited for you to get it too. So excited for you to get it. Okay, my loves. Well, our hour is up. Our hour is up. So I'm going to go ahead and tune out. If you want more of this, be sure to follow at Doorway to Self, at the Doorway to Self podcast, and at rachel.leah.gerson on Instagram, and Doorway to Self and the Doorway to Self podcast on Facebook. You can also check out the Doorway to Self podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, the Doorway to Self website, which is doorwaytoself.com, etc., so on and so forth. You can also book a private one-on-one session with me through my website, doorwaytoself.com. And I am, at this point in time, opening the doors to a new apprenticeship client. So if that is something you have been flirting with, the time is now, and you can apply to be a part of the program. I only take on one client at a time, so just keep that in mind. In that capacity, everything else I'm still taking on clients in other ways. So, yeah. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Oh, the other thing is too, you can sign up for my email list through doorwaytoself.com as well, and I do a monthly little update email for you guys and give you all the things with easy access, like the replay for this video with all the timestamps and all that good stuff. So, anyways, I'll stop talking now, and I love you. Thank you all for just for being you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spreading psychic education. Over and out. Peace. Much love. Why aren't you letting me end this?